Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. Episode 100 of the H.A.M.
We made it! Oh, fuck, I should have got like a horn or something to celebrate. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
He's interrupting me already.
My name is Noah, and I got kicked off a podcast I helped create, but we're not going to get into that. And then
I am the Lone Vault Wanderer. That's right. That's right.
I'm not done. And then I had surgery and almost died.
Oh, come on.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Logan. I'm just kidding.
So Noah, I don't know if you remember, but you used to go third. Like, I would introduce myself first. I don't know if you remember that.
It's been so long. A whole month. Go ahead, Logan.
But no, seriously, episode 100 of the podcast. That's fucking awesome, guys. That's really awesome.
It is.
And
cool.
we needed, like, obviously, the clear choice to bring back as a guest was Noah. And we are happy to have him here now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Definitely.
I just got home from work. I'm tired. And let me give a little update, I guess. If you're hearing my voice right now, it's actually because a small device about this big, it's about the size of a Thin Mint, and now my voice is back to normal, is going off in my chest for epilepsy. And I had surgery a little while back, about 3 weeks ago. And they cut me open, they put it in, they sewed me back up, and they're like, all right, you can go home now. Still can't shower normally, so I'm sure everyone is very
Wait, do you
curious.
have like a plastic bag over your head or something?
That would kill him, you dipshit.
No, it wouldn't.
There's a cut here, but there's also a cut on my chest, so anything I do, it wouldn't make any difference. But I didn't have brain surgery. Let me make that clear. The device is on my chest, not my brain.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's really interesting. So you know, that was
curious how you shower then.
Oh no, I just do like a sponge bath basically, like when
okay.
I do, and then I just wash my hair in the sink. You know.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
Yeah, basically. But you know, so that's me. That's what's new. Nothing too new. Waiting on E3 to tell me that I'm famous and can come.
Yeah,
still.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it.
You should get into E3. I think that's going to be a no-brainer.
Let's put it this way: if I don't, someone's gonna get a very mean written letter in crayon. Man, I don't know where it's gonna go, but we'll see.
I can't imagine them not bringing anyone in. I don't know why they're opening it to the public. Like, this shit's crowded enough. I'm sorry. That's my selfish 2 cents on it. All right, as we've Noah and I have been there. It's fucking crowded. 15,000 more people, I think it was.
But no, is it 15,000 on top of who already is there, or are they going to actually prevent 15,000 media from going? Is that why Noah is not allowed to go to E3?
Well, I'm not. It's not that I'm not allowed. I'm just still waiting on the yes or no. But is that so? You're saying they're stopping media from coming in so they can?
I don't know. No one knows. They're saying
I think it's
we're gonna
PAX
have.
is starting to take over a little bit, so they're like, yeah, let's bring in some of the public here. You know, pimp.
But they needed community there, right? Because it's important to be able to have people that actually want to buy the games.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know whether is it 15,000 on top of who they already invite or minus.
Yeah,
who knows?
I don't know. Like you said, Matt, it's so goddamn crowded as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when you and I cut the entire line to get in. But we cut like 300 people.
Yeah,
it was just like.
Yeah, the Warner Brothers one, like if you're waiting on that line because they have like this VIP section that we were in because we're fucking important, and that alone was like, thank God that they have this like media section. It's like I almost feel bad for people who are going for the public. Longer lines than PAX for sure.
Yeah. I bet. So tell me a little bit about PAX. Tell us a little bit about PAX. I saw that it snowed there a bit.
Oh my God, yeah. So for those who don't know, I went to PAX East this weekend. I met a surprising amount of viewers, more than like when I was walking around than actually when I had a meetup, which I thought was pretty cool. But that was one of the coldest weekends I've had, and that's from someone who lives in New York. And the winter
got down to like 12 degrees, right?
Yeah, like and since you're in the city. And since you're in the fucking city, like I'll step outside my hotel and the wind's just funneling down these fucking streets. So it was such cold wind where like my eyes were literally like this because I couldn't fucking see. The wind was blowing so hard, it was so cold.
I know what you mean, dude. It was like 70 degrees in Tucson, man, and I was like, this is crazy.
Such a hard time.
It was hard, dude. Yeah, I had to wear like an open hoodie. Fuck.
I'm sorry, but Fahrenheit makes no sense. Like everyone around the world uses Celsius. Can't you just fucking be like everyone else, America, and use our metrics?
I bet you do kilometers an hour too.
Oh, everyone does. Everyone around the world does. No, we gotta travel 6 miles. Like what the fuck does miles mean?
We know that. You guys know that. And it's not like it's complicated to learn. It's just that like.
But the key, Matty, is when you say you guys, you're referring to the rest of the world, and then there's America who's special.
Yeah, you guys.
Special. Did you know?
I'm special.
Did you know Australia is becoming one of the most obese countries, along with like America already has been, but Australia is too.
Well, yeah, but I'm fucking jacked. So what?
Someone is gonna like comment and be like, you know what? That's actually not true. You know, and then just go.
Actually, look at the recent statistic. Yeah, but we are. I think we actually overtook North America. Yeah.
Wow.
Did you?
Wow, that's a fucking feat and a half. Do you realize that? Holy shit.
That's a big. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But, as for PAX, like I said, it was really cold. Went to a bar. That was a lot of fun.
I saw you at who'd you meet at the bar?
Fighting Cowboy.
That
man can drink.
He seemed cool.
Yeah, he's very cool. That's like the first time I've kind of like, and no, because you know me, like that's the first time I really gone hard, out like that. But
he's like, he texted me. He's like, I got drunk, dude.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, like actually, that's what I said.
I'm like, Matt.
Yeah, like, he's like, congrats, you're like everyone else. I was like, yeah, I don't get drunk that often. So for me, it was actually a fucking highlight for me to actually just go out and get fucking trashed.
Bro, go
dude,
drunk,
the whole time
man.
I'm walking home,
So
I'm quoting Mass Effect. I tried to break open the door to get Connor, and I was like, yo, Connor, what's your favorite store on the Citadel? While he's taking a shit, like. I don't know why.
It's your favorite store on Citadel. I'm fucking dead, dude.
That's fantastic.
I always think back to that. Well, there's a few things. The picture of Connor where you're like Eddie's rubbing his back while he's in the toilet, and then the video of Eddie going into the toilet.
Like a fucking.
It's so much like Jesus.
We're talking about our friend, ladies and gentlemen. He got so drunk. I've never seen it before. That like when he went over to the toilet to throw up, I have a picture and literally it's a stream from his mouth. He's got a good foot from the toilet.
Why would you embarrass him like that?
It's solid, dude. He's proud of it. He's like, that's amazing because it's such a great I just one picture
proud of it,
and because it's just that one picture. And it's just a straight stream from his mouth to the toilet for like a foot, and it's a fucking mouth cannon. Think of Bubbling from fucking Pokemon, except it's vomit.
No, don't ruin my favorite fucking cartoon show.
I just want I want like a vectored image of that, like just on a shirt. You know what I mean? Like just him. Just
what else? So, yeah, at PAX, what games did I play? We'll start off with the Bethesda games. I played Quake Champions. That actually ended up being my favorite game there. There really wasn't a lot of big production games, but Quake was really fast paced. Think of like Doom times 5. I was really shocked. What?
As like a base game, Quake is fast regardless. Like ever since you go back.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you think of competitive multiplayer, and then you look at Doom, and it's like that's pretty fast. You wonder if they're gonna amp it up any faster than that, or would it be too much? And it's like Quake really does fucking turn the dial to 10.
It's weird though, because I saw people commenting on one of the recent Quake trailers that this looks slow. It doesn't look fast-paced, and
here's the thing.
People can't be fucking satisfied.
I should say that. Well, here's the thing. People were shitting on Doom before launch. I was one of them. I was like, but like not from an OG standpoint, which I get from former Quake fans that they're probably not impressed with this, But I like it because it's got the multiple hero classes. It's really fast-paced for my taste, So I liked it a lot. I played some Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind Battlegrounds. That's the new multiplayer mode coming. That was pretty cool compared to like the giant PvP battles you have. Instead, it's more of like a team deathmatch sort of thing. I played a game called Yonder, which is an exploration-based game. It's very Zelda-inspired. Like no fighting though, so that was different. What else did I play? Divinity Original Sin 2. That was fucking amazing. That will probably be, if it comes out this year, like one of my favorite games to come out because I love the first one so much. They added 2 new classes thanks to their Kickstarter. One allows you to like transform. I think it's called polymorph, and you can literally transform and like grow wings and fly to higher objects, or like you can set up pillars that transform into different elements. It's so different from anything else, and it shows just how expansive this game's gotten. So that one was awesome as well. And I played Raid World War II, kind of like Payday, except in World War II. So that was different. Nothing, that wasn't too impressive though. Earthfall, which is modern Left 4 Dead. Like, this is the best way to describe it. Just modern Left 4 Dead.
Modern Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. Well, because there hasn't been a Left 4 Dead game in a while. Like, this is
okay.
just that. I'm saying it's like a modern take on that.
Gotcha.
Actually, the aliens that were attacking you, though, they remind me of Advanced Warfare. You know, that shitty aliens, zombies.
I never played Advanced Warfare.
Lucky you. Lucky you. It was so bad. And I think it was Exo Zombies, maybe? Something like that.
Exo Zombies.
Sounds amazing.
What are they, 12? Like...
Yeah. Or no. I'm thinking of Ghosts. Man, that one's awful, too. Both by Infinity Ward. But that one has, like...
Shitting on Infinity Ward, Matty.
They suck. They suck.
Fuck me.
I'm sorry, they suck. At least in my opinion, they do. I know some people out there who do like Infinity Ward CODs, and I get it, because I like Treyarch only, it seems. But, yeah, got off track. Those aliens from that mode remind me of the ones in Earthfall. But those are just the standout ones that come to mind. Yeah, but have you guys heard of any of the random ones I mentioned, like Earthfall? Or... Nope.
I was actually going to comment saying you're naming some random ass names, Matty. I have no idea what they are.
This PAX was it was really not quiet. There was a lot more quality there, but it wasn't like a ton of big titles there like there have been. Where we've seen Overwatch. A lot more
focus on indies and smaller to mid tier games.
I was going to say PAX East 2 is at a time period where all the great games have already come out in the fall.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So if a big company's going to be saving, somebody's going to be saving it for E3. And now that E3's open to the public, they may be more so saving it for that,
Or even their own events, like PlayStation Experience or something.
Or whatever Nintendo does.
I never thought of it that way. But yeah, I mean, the thing, though, it was hard to describe because last year I basically only played indie games. And then this year I did play, like, for example, Quake Champions, Earthfall. They didn't feel like indie games. So like I said, there was a lot more quality there. I didn't know this. Did anyone else know that Quake Champions is free to play?
I did not.
I did not know that. Yeah. I thought they were going to be charging for that. Yeah, it's a free to play PC game.
And you can charge for different heroes, right? Or you pay for different heroes. Is that how it's working?
I don't think so.
No, sorry. I think there's like the free version and then a full version, right?
He didn't say anything like that to me because I was talking to him and he said that the only thing you pay for is cosmetics. But I haven't done research to verify. So just cosmetics. Are you saying because it's just cosmetics? Or are you saying because he might be wrong?
No, I'm saying because I don't know how true that is. All right.
Would we be surprised that the PR guy left out the additional things I had to pay for? Would we really?
Okay, so this is the quote, right? Well, Quake Champions actually uses both a free-to-play and a buy-to-own business model. At its core, it's a free-to-play game with the option to buy the champion pack and just get in and play with all the champions. So it is like microtransactions. You can pay for different champions or heroes or whatever.
The issue will be, and I'm not even gonna say it
balance?
Could be, it will be that one of those heroes that is in that payment option.
Everyone's gonna bitch about it regardless.
Yeah, it will be so good, and people will be like, "It's pay to win, technically."
Everyone's gonna say that.
Yeah.
There's no matter what. I hate to sound like a pessimist about it, but
it's inevitable.
Something you come to expect, right?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
But it looks alright. Like, how does it compare to Doom multiplayer?
I mean, you're not ripping people's heads off, but it's like that type of fast pace, very pickup focus. I'm sure someone out there who's an OG is probably ripping their fucking hair out as I speak, thinking like it's not like that. But that's
fucking nothing like that.
I only played the first Doom, and that was on the 360 arcade.
God, you're such a noob, Matty.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I have very modernized opinions on these games getting reborn, so I think it offers some value to people who are just hopping into that franchise. I don't know.
You think you know about games?
Fucking flick this at you.
You think you know? No, I was just kidding.
That's brilliant. All right. Well, okay. This is what I wanted to ask. Did you play any other Nintendo Switch games? Was there anything
other than the two that are out?
No, they had a...
Okay, shut up, Noah. Shut up.
They're actually breaking their sales goal for the first one.
There's actually 3.
I wanted to talk about this because right now, Noah, do you have a Switch? Do you have Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, dude, I have a Switch.
No,
I always jump up on the most recent.
So Noah doesn't have a. He actually just bought an Xbox One, I think. So he's really staying up to date.
For Christmas, my mom got it for me.
Because I wanted to say I am really enjoying, obviously, my Switch, but I'm enjoying it because I'm enjoying Breath of the Wild. And I'm looking at the pipeline thinking, well, Mario Kart for me, I'm really going to get into. Ukulele, I'm definitely going to buy on the Switch. But what other games, like, and maybe they would have shown these at PAX, what other games are coming and are they fun?
Mario Kart probably would have been a big one.
They were promoting mostly first party there because their booth was right next to Raid World War II that I was standing next to. And they were doing giveaways. I wish I brought my Switch like actually physically with me because they were giving out like hats and shirts for people who did bring it to the booth and said like, "Hey, I have a Switch."
Dude, I would not have brought that into PAX.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like I was like,
I'm MrMattyPlays. Fucking give me a shirt.
You know what the thing is with the Switch is like I said, I don't own one, so I can't say that all this is true. But I've seen a lot of the same issues over and over and over. And the main one being that people are scratching their screen when they put it in the dock, like just putting it in, and then I guess it scratches. Again, I don't have one. I don't know how easy it is to scratch. That could just be fucking stupid, careless people. But
so I have been experiencing some scuffing. It's not well. I have a screen protector, right? So
okay.
At least I can see when you put the Switch into the dock, in the bottom left hand and right hand corners, like with the black bezel or whatever you call it around the screen, there is some scuffing and there is some slight scratching that if you didn't have a screen protector, that's probably going to be permanent. And I don't know how deep it would have gone, but my screen protector is somewhat self-healing. But I could easily see if you do it like they show in the ads, boom, boom, in and out, you'd probably scratch it. And I'm like,
I was always so gentle with it from the start, though. That's probably why I never noticed. Like I literally go like that,
and I'm not trying to shit on it. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on it or anything. There's I don't know, Lone, if you saw, because you like the Funhouse stuff. When they did the, they edited the stream they did, and there's a part where Elise throws the controller at him by accident when they're playing 1, 2, 3 Switch, and it hits him like right in the stomach. I'm just like, oh Jesus! But it was fucking great.
It's a liability waiting to happen.
Yeah, well, that's exactly too. I was like, oh Jesus.
Well, didn't with the Wii U? Didn't they? Oh, sorry, was it the Wii or the Wii U where they had the motion controls and they had to give out free jackets and then wrist straps for them? Didn't that happen?
The Wii. I don't know.
Gotta be the Wii.
Because everyone killed everything with the Wii. They just murdered people.
Yeah, there's so many fail montages of people who go like and breaking a fucking TV
through
screen
the
with
TV. Yeah.
Yep. But Wii Sports was fun, mind you. But anyways, I just wanted to ask.
The issue with the Nintendo Switch is it has arguably the best launch game you could ever ask for your system, but it's like looking in the long run. It all banks on third-party support. It really does. If they get that support, the system will get supported, no problem. Because put it this way, is that the way I look at it is these 2 million plus people have bought the Switch for Zelda, and
that's insane. Those are insane numbers.
That's pretty crazy. That people are going to buy that system for Zelda. Maybe someone out there bought it for Super Bomberman R. Could be it. That game actually didn't look too bad, but like ARMS, Splatoon. I know Splatoon 2 had a closed beta too, so like
ARMS isn't out yet, is it?
No, I'm getting ARMS, bro. I'm excited for ARMS. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, I'm not. No, the thing I'm most excited for, again, aside from Mario Kart, is ukulele. I don't know ukulele is coming on other consoles, but to be able to play that on the go. Okay, so ukulele. How do you not know?
Does it have to do with ukuleles?
No.
All right.
Did you ever play Banjo-Kazooie?
I know of it, but no.
Okay, so essentially, this is a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
You don't care, do you?
It's not special.
Share my nostalgia.
I do not give a fuck.
I don't have nostalgia for that game, but I am looking forward to ukulele.
That's such a random game.
Switch. It's kind of refreshing though, because it's a 3D platformer. You don't really see that all too
You
much.
know why those died out? Because they're a pain in the ass to play.
Like, I mean, there's a bit of truth to like the frustration of those games.
But they're old school. You know.
I think it's more so that every game's an open world shooter RPG. This that it's like it's nice just to slim it down a bit, have a more the fat trimmed off experience.
Yeah.
Well, you said something about the Evil Within 2.
So there are some secrets or evidence pointing to a new Evil Within, a sequel. All right, so I've got a Destructoid article. I'm going to read it pretty much verbatim. All right, a private Japanese job listing. Yes, verbatim. I'm a lawyer. Sorry. A private Japanese job listing for Psycho Break 2, the Evil Within series name in Japan. It's called Psycho Break 2 in Japan. What the fuck?
That sounds sick.
Shut up, Jay! I knew you were going to say it!
What? What? That sounds
bro, Psycho Break 2 sounds awesome. It's such a Japanese
because it's Japanese. Just like I'd say Biohazard sounds cooler than fucking Resident Evil.
I didn't say anything. You're making these conclusions. So
you screamed after saying in Japan. I fucking knew you'd like it. So I think I'm drawing a safe conclusion here.
Continuing.
When did your go ahead.
That's right. The listing is specifically for translation and quality assurance positions. Of course, this is a full-on rumor, as nothing has been confirmed by either publisher Bethesda or developer Tango Gameworks. So a new Psycho Break 2, eh, buddy?
Psycho Break. What were you saying, no?
No, I was gonna say when did your body pillow come in, but
fuck you,
okay.
Fuck you. I decided, he was about to speak.
You're like, there's a reason I kicked you off, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but all right, let's be honest. Psycho Break 2 or The Evil Within?
I go with The Evil Within.
There are different names for different purposes. Psycho Break 2 sounds like a new anime fighting Japanese game.
Bullshit. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It sounds like Blaze Blue. It sounds like Blaze Blue Calamity's Edition, something.
I think the real question we need to ask is how much hentai can be made of both games.
They can't do that intentionally. Like,
I love that Matt actually thought about it. He's like, wait a minute.
It can't be intentional. They're like, Japanese audience will like Psycho Break, but the American audience, Evil Within, dude, deep edgy. Like, no.
Okay, but enough making fun of Matty, though. I actually do like how, looking at the differences culturally between Japan and Western countries, how they'll change names and they'll change how a character looks. Sometimes it's censorship, sometimes. But I just like looking at those cultural differences. It's just weird how it's called Psycho Break 2. I mean, what's Psycho Break 1?
The first Evil Within?
So
what kind of fucking question was that?
Yeah, but is that game called The Evil Within just in Western countries?
This isn't the first time this has been done, though. This has been done in like early NES years. They did stuff like this, where they would come out with a sequel to a game that was named completely different, but it's based off of the base of that game.
A similar thing happened with Harry Potter. So Harry Potter in the States is called the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yes,
and everywhere else is called the Philosopher's Stone. Because apparently Americans wouldn't have understood that philosophers is tied to magic. Wow. That was their reason.
Wow.
Actually, that's a good point.
I'm just saying, like,
a lot of that kind of stuff.
Here.
Well, like you guys call the hood of your car the bonnet, not the.
We have so many differences. We call flip flops thongs.
Yeah,
that's fucking. Yeah, you guys are retarded. You don't know what underwear is, but
we just call underwear, not a thong.
But so we've gone over this before. Then
this is not a serious argument.
Yeah, then what the fuck do you call a thong? A thong? That's you said that, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's so convoluted. That's
that's
a lore breaking to the Aussies.
Wait, hold on. Thong and G-string, are those equivalent?
No, because a G-string is different as itself. Like a G-string is just one piece of like fabric that goes up the anus, or not anus, but. Crack. But whereas a thong, like a thong will go out. So like picture the butt crack, and then it goes out like that.
How do you know this?
Well, just think about it. There's a difference. There's a reason to call G-string is called a G-string and not
G-string versus
thong. Yeah, G-string sounds uncomfortable.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I can't confirm because I've never worn one, but
clear browser history. Yeah, we'll talk about Evil Within. So, I never played the original Evil Within, but it is a Bethesda-made product, so we should talk about it. I know. Is it good? Is it good?
I don't know. There's a guy wearing a box trailer, so
I was pretty surprised with it because I like that survival horror type game, and I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there's like this 1 to 2% minority anytime I mention how much I like this game. Like, there is that tiny percent that'll like come out and be like, huh, you think it's good? You fucking idiot. What do you know? It's like, dude, I mean, I don't know. I liked it a lot because, like with those types of games, it's a certain type of mastery to, as a developer, to give me just enough to get by. Not give me too much, not give me too little, but like just enough where they know like I might miss a couple of shots. How much extra should they give me? It's just, I love that about certain games because it's constantly intense. And
you are reminding me. You are reminding me about Resident Evil 7. Like playing, you've played that, right? So
that game was ridiculous.
It's like I'm always needing a fucking handgun ammo and shotgun ammo. It's just they all, as Matty said, they give you just enough, but sometimes it's not enough, and it feels like the enemies are bullet sponges that have no health bar, so you have no idea whether you're wasting your ammo or not. And it's
when you shoot Jack.
Oh fuck, dude, fuck me.
I've never played Resident Evil, but I've seen a full stream of the game, so from start to finish. Mm-hmm. So I know what happens. I haven't played it, but
it's frustrating. There's like, I won't give spoilers, but there's this one boss bit in the game, which apparently is the hardest boss. It took me like almost 2 hours to finish it because I kept dying. No, it's one like 3/4 of the way in. It's like it's like the eye boss. I'll say the.
Okay. I know what you're talking
about. Oh man, but in any event, it's a similar thing because you get to that part and you're like, oh, there's all this health here randomly all of a sudden, and the health still isn't enough.
They're gearing you up.
It's still not enough.
They're gearing you up. When you walk into that room and you see tons of ammo, it's like, oh fuck. It's like I'm in for something good now.
I'm being misled.
Maybe they're just being nice. I mean, who the fuck knows? But Evil Within is similar to that, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'd say Resident Evil 7 does it a little bit better because they do a good job of, for example, when Jack Baker is chasing you, he's so fast compared to you that you'll be tempted to shoot at him a couple of times to slow him down on your first playthrough, I'm talking, and not just run. And you'll waste some ammo that way. So the game is built structurally well so that it's not only through that first playthrough where you waste ammo, but it's that second playthrough where you can do a little bit more. Now that you have those extra bullets, you can relax a little bit. That I think that, like I've said when I reviewed it, it's so layered, that game. I fucking love it so much. Where I'd say, definitely Resident Evil 7's better, but Evil Within is definitely one of my more favorite survival horror games, I guess you could call it, even though
it was a short game though, wasn't it? Well, didn't they get dinged for that?
7 or Evil Within?
Evil Within.
Evil Within was about 16-ish hours, so I thought it was pretty good.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Resident Evil 7 was short for sure. Yeah, especially if you know what you're doing. You can finish that game. I beat it I did a second playthrough. I beat it in 5 hours.
Shit.
Yeah. Damn. Son.
Well, I'd say I'm saying like I knew the game like the back of my hand. I still kind of do.
Such a fucking speedrunner,
such
dude.
A gamer, dude. Yeah, I was thinking about just quitting everything and speedrunning.
Stream it all too, yeah.
Wait, but I actually like watching speedrunning. Don't make fun of it. Speedrunning.
It depends on the game.
Fun. If it's Ocarina of Time, I will watch speedruns of that all day.
I like when people do speedruns where they just completely break the game.
I remember.
That's my favorite because it's like wow.
Cool.
Super Mario 64 speedruns?
Because that's a good example of breaking the game, because literally the guy goes to the corner, like a specific corner, he jumps into it, and it drops him into like the next quest objective, and removes like all the running in between, and he beat the entire game in, I want to say like 32 minutes. It was crazy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dude, already now, with Breath of the Wild out for a couple of weeks, like, Matty, how many hours have you put into Breath of the Wild?
I didn't even know how to check. I've been trying to look.
Okay. So
I haven't played it a couple days because I've been playing Persona 4.
Of course you have.
Loser.
But someone has already finished.
Starting it.
Someone has already finished that game under an hour. Like
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I put 20 hours into it, and I recently finished one of the first bosses.
Yeah, I got to be around there too. Yeah. I'm on the second boss. That much I know. One of the second divine beasts.
Beast.
Divine beast. Nah, it's a fantastic game. All right, now we can either.
Wait.
What?
I was gonna say with the Evil Within 2, just a last thought is, if there's already rumors, we've talked about it for a while that it's probably going to be revealed. I'm guessing we're thinking like a Bethesda E3 2017 type thing.
I would probably put my money
Okay, well,
on that.
let's ask this question then. Because Bethesda usually has one marquee title at their E3s, what is going to be that title? Is it going to be Rage 2? Or is it going to be Evil Within? Psycho Break 2, sorry.
Well, I've been predicting that Bethesda Game Studios is going to reveal something this year.
Did you predict that last year?
No.
And the year before?
The year before. the year before that I did.
They revealed Quake Champions before.
I was just fucking with you.
No, because I was genuinely thinking, because the last time I made this prediction, that's why I'm kind of like pretty content with like the evidence I filed, is because last time I made this prediction was 2015. I was like, 2015 is the year of Fallout 4. They were like, and then
wait a year.
You're just a fucking Fallout fanboy, Bethesda fanboy. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, so that's why I don't feel like going over it again.
I just not,
because I've talked about it a bunch. But yeah, I think 2017 is going to be something from Bethesda Game Studios, and I think that will be, the flagship thing that they showcase. Because once again, you line it up. I don't view Evil Within 2 as like that big title. I'm sorry, I don't. I love the first Evil Within, but it appeals to a specific audience, because here's the thing with horror games is you can have one as good as Resident Evil 7. I'm not saying that's a definitive horror game, but that was well reviewed. Everyone and their mother was talking about how good it was, and it sold pretty bad compared to Capcom's expectations. And I think part of that's because with these horror games, people group up to play them. People just watch them because they don't want to play it because they might be afraid, or they might just be, I don't know about it. There's a lot of uncertainty with horror games where I think it pushes away consumers, where I don't see especially at a Bethesda conference, a survival horror being, this is our big thing we're showing this year. It could work, because it could look absolutely amazing. It just doesn't seem like that fit, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, like, for Resident Evil 7, for me, it wasn't even just the fact that it is scary and there's a bunch of jump scares. It's more the frustrating gameplay, and this is intentional, mind you, of always feeling like you're out of ammo, always feeling like you don't have any health, trying to figure out the next fucking puzzle while there are enemies lurking around. It's just that kind of annoyingly frustrating gameplay that when you beat, it's fucking satisfying as hell, but it's still off-putting to some people when they see those reviews.
It's like a Souls game in a way, in a very
kind of
way. It's like, that hard, oh, that was so satisfying, I got to keep going type of gameplay that makes you feel invincible at the end.
All right, well, let's talk about, what do you want to talk about, Noah? Ghost Recon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ghost Recon,
Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon or
Rainbow Six?
Sorry. The Rainbow Six, I always get them confused. Talk about Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six Siege, so I picked that up recently. It was on sale for about $25 on the Xbox. I think it still is. And if you have $25 to spare, I picked this fucking game up.
I agree.
I did not realize, well, I knew there was still a player base for this game. I did not realize it was this big. The game is huge, and there's free DLC for it. Now there's some paid DLC. A lot of it's cosmetic stuff. But there's free DLC. It's just a good game. I don't know. I just enjoy it. There's gonna be people like, this is OP and this is OP. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. The game itself is really good. Another thing that I've been playing a lot of is Hitman.
Oh.
I picked up the
that's the episodic one, right?
Yes, this has all the episodes on it. I have it on PC as well. But the ones I didn't have was the one that took place in Japan and the one that took place in Colorado. So I played through this completely, and oh my god, it's it's so good.
Sorry,
my voice is a little but it's just Hitman's fun. Rainbow Six, though, again, getting back to that, if you have friends that you play Call of Duty with, or you play Battlefield with, and you have a good amount of friends, play Rainbow Six, because you are all gonna have a fucking blast. It's just,
wasn't this the game that people were knocking initially because it didn't have like a fully fledged single player campaign, and then they're like, oh my god, this multiplayer is fucking amazing.
Basically, no one paid attention to that game for the first probably 6 or 7 months it was out.
That's insane.
And then they did some stuff to it. They tweaked some stuff, and it just kind of real quick went up. Yeah. And they're still doing stuff. They recently did an update to some of the people who play this game, you'll know what I'm talking about, but to the Glass class, which is the sniper class, they added a thermal scope to it, and they just added this in an update. You know, I mean, they're still adding stuff to the game. They're adding maps are free. You know, maps take place in the day and the night. You know, it's basically search and destroy or Counter-Strike if if you're a player of those, those game types and stuff. So it's a fun game though. Even by myself, I play it by myself, and it's I still have genuinely a lot of fun. So, pick it up.
I like that game a lot. I played it. Funny enough, I started playing it, I want to say around December. Yeah, because that was right after Fallout 4. I wanted to play something differently. So I started playing in December. I fucking played that game so much. I played it for a good solid 5 months. Like, almost, it was like before Overwatch. That was the shooter I consistently played all the time. And I didn't stop playing because it was bad. I told Noah I stopped playing it more so because since I was an early adopter, I was waiting on DLC, and they took a really long time, and they still did take a while to launch it. And I got back into it after the first DLC they launched with Blackbeard and Valkyrie, I think her name.
Yep.
No, I'm not sure, but
I think it was Valkyrie.
Yeah, and it came with the frozen ship map, and I was like, all right, I'm back into it. I got on the grind again. And it was after the favela type DLC. That's when I stopped, just because that was the first map in that game that I was really like, I don't like this one. I just didn't like how it was designed. But regardless, it was just at the time I was playing Overwatch and I was just transitioning to a new shooter. But getting off track is that I completely agree, dude. That game is fucking good. It is. It's amazing its player base increased so much because it was like dead on launch, and they just... Here's the thing is that I remember seeing a chart of just the rising amount of users getting invested in it. And it wasn't like they did anything special. It was just around the time the first DLC was launching. They were like, yeah, it's going to be free. And everyone was like, I want to get into that. And they did. And, people started to realize how good it was. And just word of mouth spread. And I think it did that game a lot of service. Have you been able to see how many people are online?
I can't see a number, but let's put it this way. There's been times where I'm not knocking the servers. It's more so the amount of people. The times where it does take a little while to get in on the servers and stuff. I'm not really knocking the servers. Again, it's player base. It's the amount of people that are logging in. Again, it's on sale right now on Xbox, so there are a lot of new people coming in. So that's going to cause some traffic, issues. But it is a solid game for $25 right now on Xbox. I think it's still going on. I haven't played in 2 days, and I'm itching to play.
Yeah. But isn't it amazing? Like, there was once a time in the games industry where, like with a multiplayer game, it'll have that initial surge of players at the launch of the game, and then it will just continuously tail off. It'll always decrease. But nowadays, we're seeing with this game, Rainbow Siege, we're seeing with the Division a little bit as well, that there are sometimes just resurgences in player bases that you can't explain. But we would never used to have that before. We would always have games tail off in that regard. But now Rainbow Six Siege, like whenever it was released in 2015, is now more popular than ever.
2 years later, and I keep looking over at my Xbox. I have it on. I don't know why. But the nice thing too is a lot of times what you'll run into, like Counter-Strike is a perfect example for this. The player base is on PC. But the nice thing about Rainbow Six is there's a really good player base across all the systems. PC... PS4, Xbox, there's a good one. You know what I mean? You're not going to be, it's not dead. And it's something refreshing. If you play a lot of Call of Duty, if you play a lot of Battlefield, try this out because it's new, it's refreshing. It plays similarly. I'd say it plays similarly to, it really is a mixture of both of them, Battlefield and Call of Duty. Again, I'm talking about search and destroy type game modes.
Little Counter-Strike in there, though, that like one and done.
Little Counter-Strike, yeah. There's a bunch of different classes to play. It's a currency-based system in the game to unlock new classes, and you really do get that itch of like, I want to get this class. I want to try this out. And it's like every class is used. You don't see one of like the same class. It's like you come in one, you see a complete 5v5 team.
Balance.
Exactly, and it's like it's really genuinely cool. And again, if you have friends, you're gonna love this game if they have it as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's put some numbers around it. I actually found the Steam chart for the player base for this game, apparently, anyways, on PC. So when the game was released in December 2015, it had about almost 8,000 people playing online, and that was about stable until around July of 2016. Then it started to ramp up. It now has 27,000 people on average a month playing.
That's a good number.
That's a huge jump.
That's the
especially against 8K at launch. That's pretty shit.
The the MW2 days when that was, Modern Warfare 2 when that's all that. No, that was about in the 20s.
Really?
I think it was. It was around there.
I'm not entirely sure.
But
yeah, it's amazing to see how much that game's prospered after the launch, and it shows that how much gaming in general has changed. Where you can not launch a game in a bad state. Because I like I said, I played it at launch. I liked this game at launch. I remember when I made my review on it, I was like, that was the first game for me. I was like, online only's done right. This is the first time I was like, this is a game I can really get behind where it only did multiplayer because it did it right. But it's amazing how you can launch a game and as it evolves, it grows rather than like Lon was saying. It's like, you got that surge in the beginning, like For Honor, funny enough, another Ubisoft game. Big player base in the beginning, and it cut in half in 2 weeks.
Oh, really? I almost picked that up too. I came really close to picking that up.
It's still a great game.
I'm enjoying the single player.
I like it.
Single player is fun as shit, dude. Like it actually has a narrative to push it forward, which is.
I think a lot of people impulsively picked it up and were like, I suck at this. I'll admit I was one in the beginning. I was like, I'm kind of questionable on the balance. But I think once you start playing as those heroes that are kicking your ass and switching between them, it becomes a lot more of a different experience. But also, you got to play the right mode. If you're playing anything above 2v2, bye.
And that's kind of how Rainbow Six feels. There will be times I've raged at it. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But there will be times where I'll be clenched up right against the objective. Like I'll be defending and just kind of looking around, and a guy will notice me through a bullet hole in the wall and just shoot the fuck out of me through a bullet hole. But it's like. That makes me mad, but at the same token, I'm like, I should pay attention to that. Like when I'm on attacking, pay attention to bullet holes in the wall. You know what I mean? And like keep my eye out. So it's a very interesting development in the way you play, and that's one of the reasons I really like it.
Fair enough. Alrighty, so are we gonna finally address the somewhat elephant in the room? People wanted us to talk about this. Mass Effect, Andromeda.
Yeah, let's have our extended discussion.
The way we do well, this is what the faces look like in my opinion.
Don't make fun.
So has anyone here played Andromeda? Okay, so I'm the only one who has. All right.
But
I want to hear your thoughts first.
Well, my thoughts is that from what I've seen, the animations aren't that great, but I've seen the same 3 shots over and over and over, and I'm wondering, is it just a few instances where it's like this, or is it a general issue? Because I'm not seeing different shots. I'm saying the same main character with the same goofy smile, the one where they have like white paint on the face or whatever it is. And that's all I've seen. And people saying, oh, the animation sucks. But you can't give 3 examples and say it sucks. And I don't know, but that's why I'm asking the question.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say real quick, a really funny video to watch about Mass Effect Andromeda. Watch the Achievement Hunters Let's Watch of it. Yeah. And you'll see some of the stuff that you can do and some of the stuff. Yeah, it's funny. Just trust me. But anyways, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, I wanted to hear your thoughts in general on it.
Oh, well, I mean, I think people are going a little hard on the animation stuff, because it's not going to affect the game that badly. Mm-hmm. But I do agree that the faces look fucking crazy, and like it's one of the things that makes me curious is the exploration factor of the game. Because I saw them, it seemed like they were really heavy on wanting to push that, and I thought it was good in some of the other Mass Effects. So I'm curious as to see what's good about it now. Yeah. Also, the multiplayer looks fun again. I'm not gonna lie. So, I remember you and I did that a lot. But anyway, go ahead.
Focusing on the facial animations, I think I have an interesting perspective. Because here's the thing: is I think we'd be hypocrites if we were like bitching the fuck out about. I think any Bethesda fan in general would be a hypocrite in a way, because I mean, come on, we do see some fucking ridiculous bugs, but we still play those games. I think it would be a little one-sided.
We get by it. We don't let it affect our experience. And I guess that's what Noah was saying.
Exactly, and the same thing applies to Mass Effect. I've played 10 hours of it, but here's the thing: is that the reason this is a little bit above that in the terms of issues. And I don't mean to draw a comparison, is just because it presents itself constantly. In BioWare games, you're conversing constantly, so you're seeing these animations a lot, and you constantly get that, like you said, the elephant in the room where you're like, all right, I'm focusing on what you're saying, but my God, your fucking face, bro. Like, let me fix that for you.
And it's different characters. It's not just like 1 or 2.
That's the thing, is that it definitely absolutely overblown. Absolutely. You can tell most people were like, fuck this game, dude, and didn't play it. They didn't play the trial. They watched the video online. And I get it because I was one of the people who, while I was editing Mass Effect videos before launch, I was doing some research. And I was seeing these animation videos. I'm like, oh, God, like that doesn't look good. But that's kind of the point of the video that these people are making, is to make it look bad, to really get the point across. But here's the thing, is that no matter...
It's fake media.
No matter what... No matter what, though, I truly believe, I don't care if Addison, that's the girl with the short hair that says my face is tired.
Giant fucking vagina lips, yeah.
She, you gotta make everything fucking M-rated, I swear. But, what's it called? I don't care if she's a side character. There is no excuse that a character like that from 2017 should have worse facial animations than Ashley. I don't care if she's the main character from 2007 in Mass Effect 1. I'm sorry.
So I saw that exact same comparison.
Yeah, and that's the one that sticks out a lot. But here's the thing. It's one instance. I have not seen one as bad as that right there. That was definitely, Addison's was definitively the worst. I don't know if it's because of the meme. I really don't. If that's just why it stuck at the meme, where I was like, oh, God, watching it really happen in real time is something else. But, yeah, it's just that they're either stiff, but the lip sync is good. It's just that everything above the lips is just not natural.
Like static. Yeah.
They'll just talk to you kind of like this. It's like, hi, how are you today? The weather is nice. It's like,
so it's kind of like Fallout 3's animation.
What's your favorite store on the
exactly?
On the Citadel.
No, you'll see some hand motions, but for the most part, it'll kind of zoom in on their face and just that slight, like, as they're talking, their head goes up and they look around left and right and. But no eyebrow movements. But here's the thing that I think people are quick to forget is there was a lot of facial animation memes for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
There were.
There were a lot. There's one of the Shepard with his fucking eyebrows like up like this, and his eyes are like busting out of his head. So it seems to be a bit of a staple, not excusing it, but I'm saying that I'm not ridiculously surprised.
This time they did it on purpose.
Yeah, it's like this time it was intentional, and that's why it's okay. No, it's definitely not okay. It's definitely something that should be fixed, because there were times in conversation I kind of became distracted because you're into what they're saying, but it's hard to focus because they're just not acting human. What they're saying is human, or technically
they're not.
But but they aren't. And here's the issue, I think, though, is that I think they're using the same facial animation for when the aliens talk, for when the humans talk. Because when the aliens talk, looks natural. Really, it does. It doesn't. I don't look at it and go like, oh, that's weird.
Same like skeleton.
That doesn't look like a real alien.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the lack of familiarity and like how they could move awkwardly. It looks a lot better, and I wonder if that same animation was just slapped onto humans. Because when they talk, that's when it looks weird. But when I'm talking to a Turian, talking to a Krogan, whatever, Solarian, really never not even really never, just never in general that I have an issue. So. That's why I started to wonder if it might just be they didn't have a specific. I don't know really how well game dev works in this regard, but maybe they have specific animations for the humans when they talk. And
it may be the same like skeleton rig. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they made one that works just with both for like optimization reasons. Yeah. Maybe I'm not. I mean,
because there's a lot of talking in the game, and that and voice takes up a lot of file size, but there is a lot, and it's not just main stuff. I mean, there's a lot of side conversations where you can go through like solid 20 minutes just talking to one fucking person, just going through all these conversation trees. And I think that says a lot. I think that's a very good thing about the game, because usually you only have those types of conversations in, for example, I was talking about earlier, Divinity Original Sin, like that type of game where it's, a lot of text. There's a lot less voice. So, you take what you can get with this type of experience. But for the facial animations, I got to say, they're bad, but a little bit overblown.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's not going to hurt the gameplay. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I think this is somewhat coming from? It's
people being
because
bitches.
When games like Witcher 3 come out that absolutely excel in every regard, especially graphics, and it's still a big game. It's not like...
They're going to compare. Yeah.
But they compare, and some people say, well, those comparisons aren't fair, but to an extent they are. I mean, a game's a game, and...
Are.
It's not like you're comparing a fighting game to a racing game, right? It's not that much of a jump. But now, it's like, well, Witcher was able to do this, and I've seen people compare Witcher and facial animations to this, and obviously there's a difference there. And I think it's because games like
it too, you know.
No, you're right, but I think it's because people, play games like Witcher and equivalents, and saying, well, now the rest of the games that I play need to be held to the exact same standard as that game, which in effect is a good thing because it pushes better game development.
I agree,
but I think that's what's
it can go far. It can go a little far. I think this is, if I'm totally honest, I think this is one of the times where it's gone a little far.
Yeah, because here's the thing is now they're dragging other games into the dirt with it, which I think is a little silly. Like, people are like, well, look at Horizon Zero Dawn. That has trash facial animations, but no one said it. It's like, I mean, I think the difference is that with Horizon Zero Dawn, when it launched, I mean, it was overwhelmingly good impressions and reviews across the board, and it's now officially PlayStation 4's best new IP launch, which congrats to them. It's a fantastic game. But point being is that there was so much overwhelming praise. There was so much we knew was good about this game. The issue in Mass Effect Andromeda is that we've heard some good things with the impressions, but as time has gone on, more and more we've heard, like, yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag. Like, it's flawed, but there's some good things. Where there's not that overwhelming praise to just shadow out maybe some bad facial animations.
And this is just the honeymoon phase. I'm waiting for this to happen with Zelda and the Switch. I don't mean to shit on the game. I know it got a 10 out of 10. I know it's a great game, but it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And it's just all about waiting. You know, and I'm not saying I want to hear what's worse or like what's the worst about the games. Like, it's not that. If I'm totally honest, I'm tired of fucking hearing that Zelda's an amazing game. I get it. It's a good game. I'm sure it is. Yes, you can get struck by fucking lightning. You can catch the
moon.
I don't care.
I hated that
You can surf on a shield down the side of
that is kind of cool. But like, I get it. There's a lot in the game, and that's awesome. You can play skate in the game. No, it's a cool game.
That'd be amazing.
But if I see someone tweet it one more fucking time, I'm gonna rip my hair out.
You should unfollow me on Twitter then, because I tweet about it all the time.
I see you alone.
My issue is that, or not really issue, it's more so that Zelda I like because I'm like, oh wow, I actually fucking like a Zelda game. You know, it's such a few and far between thing. Because there was no honeymoon entering it. Like, I bought the Switch just for the job. Like, I really wasn't hyped for that. And Zelda,
the job. Yeah.
But
dang,
Zelda, like, truth be told, and I know Lone, you'll get upset with this, but Zelda I could give fuck all about before launch. I didn't fucking care. I didn't watch a single trailer. Just that initial gameplay reveal from Jeff Keighley back at the Game Awards, like, how many fucking years ago? Like, I've barely seen shit.
Serious?
Yeah, I've barely seen shit. I was like, all right, Zelda is a launch game I want, and I bought the system. Let's do this, and I'm impressed. But getting off track here, facial animations.
Right, Zelda's facial animations.
Yeah, Zelda's facial animations.
But Zelda doesn't have good facial animations at all.
And we cut corners because it's fucking Zelda, and everyone loves Nintendo, and you know.
Yeah, I think the issue is that I think this stems in a way you could say from the climate that has surrounded Zelda of what is a 10 out of 10 now, because people think when a 10 out of 10 comes out, this is a game for everybody, anyone can enjoy it. I think that's not true at all. Like, every flaw in the game is fucking gone. You know, it's that perfect video game if you're giving it a 10. And I can get why you're giving it the maximum score possible. But what I think people don't realize is that every video game, even the best ones, they have a flaw.
I made a video saying that exactly. You look at any video game, and the moment there is a frame drop, the moment there is the tiniest glitch, technically, if we're doing this on a mathematical basis, technically that's not perfect. Technically, it's not 100%. Yeah. When you do a math test and you get one answer wrong, you don't get 10 out of 10 because, overall, when you consider that one mistake wasn't that bad. But we shouldn't, like, this is why I don't like review scores. I don't think we should be, reviewing games and giving our opinions on them in such a scientific, mathematical way, because it's not right and it's subjective. Some people can say Zelda's 10 out of 10. I wouldn't agree, because there's a lot of grind in that game. And some people say, well, you don't need to do the grind. But of course you do. To get heart pieces to be able to fight Ganon, you need to be able to find a bunch of shrines. And to that extent, it is a little bit grindy. But for other people playing it, they might think, well, that's not enough to take away from the total experience. And even tying that back to facial animations, well, if some people think that the facial animations isn't enough to take away from their total experience, then what the fuck can you say about the score that they give that game? Like, it's their opinion.
That's the thing, is that reviews, people don't realize is that, and I say this even about my own reviews. I've said it constantly to people. I'm like, reviews are a glorified opinion. That is all.
Yes.
You know,
that's exactly what they are.
It is all they are. And here's the other thing is that people need to study your review scales more in the sense that the only review scale that, because I used to watch them all the time, IGN, their reviews, I know for a fact that a 10 is considered a masterpiece. They didn't say perfect. Yes. They didn't say flawless. They're saying it's a masterpiece. And that can apply to a genre specifically, where you could say, like, yes, this is a masterpiece in an action-adventure genre. This is what I like to see from this type of genre, and this is why it's the best of said genre.
That's a really good point.
And I think that's important, too. The issue is that it comes down to that expectation of perfection, the confusion around 10s, and now you got a game that has facial animation issues, and it's like, how much does that detract from experience? And that's why... there was this trend where people were doing away with review scores more and more, but then people stopped. And I don't know why, because especially it encourages a lot of viewers to not watch the review. How many IGN or GameStop reviews have you guys clicked on where the top rated comment is like 8, you don't need to watch anymore? And that's it.
You're right.
Yeah, and it's like, it's kind of fucked. It's like, don't you want to know why I got that 8 or why I got that 4, why I got that 10?
Spoiling it. Yeah.
Like, to an extent, I do think that review scores do serve some sort of a purpose. Like, for example, if you're someone that might not have much time and you just want to get the quickest look and an opinion and critical review of a game, then I think in that instance, a review score can tell you very roughly what most people think of the game, right? I mean, you look at a game that's reviewed 5 out of 10, you can pretty much quickly tell that it's a very, very average game. If you look at a game that's reviewed 8 out of 10, you can say, oh yeah, it's a good game, but some people don't agree. Yeah. Right, but obviously there's no way you're going to be able to get the true impression of a game unless you actually read what the fucking reviewer is saying, because you can't boil down a 2 to 10 page review down to one score. It's stupid.
Yeah. Well, and you know what you're talking about right now is I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit, but it relates to the review stuff. I saw Beauty and the Beast last night with my girlfriend. She wanted to go and see it, so we went and saw it. And the reviews for the movie were like a 6 out of 10, or Rotten Tomatoes is like a 66. The movie was great, and if I had to rate, I'd probably give it an 8. You know, the parts I didn't like was like the first 10 minutes of the movie and the last 10 minutes of the movie. That's genuinely the parts I didn't rate. Everything else, it was fun. It was a nice movie to watch, you know, and you know, it's going right back to what you're saying, that it's so subjective. Yeah. You know,
and you know what that's down to with movies somewhat, because most movie critics review the game based on 5 stars, right? So it's like 4 stars out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5, and there's usually no in between. So when a movie is like 4 out of 5, so that's 8 out of 10 and 80%. But the moment you drop by half a star or another star, that percentage drop is huge. So then when you look at Rotten Tomatoes, you're like, well, this game was 3.5 stars and this was 4 stars. Oh, sorry, this movie was 4 stars, but look at the percentage drop. Well, of course, it's because that's the scale. And I kind of wish that sometimes that, not that Metacritic didn't exist, but they actually represented different ways and showed score reviews in a different manner, as opposed to saying, here's a 100-point percentage scale, even though some, like, I think Game Informer do a, you know, out of 5 stars. And you can't just convert that to 100% and say, well, that's 10,
it. But it's by like 0.25s, I've noticed.
But IGN does it like 0.1s in between.
Yeah.
Which is dumb.
and you can't conflate all of those together and say, well, here's the percentage score out of 100, because people aren't reviewing those scores based on 100%. They're doing it, again, for, you know, a scale of 0 to 5 or 0 to 10, and sometimes they have increments of 0.1 and 0.5 and 0.25. It's not consistent.
Here's the thing, though, is that, and this can wrap to the Mass Effect facial animation thing, is that, you know, I'm sure someone out there will give it like a fucking 9 or something close to it. And their question will be like, why didn't the facial animations take more points off, we'll say, because I think that can detract from a lot of gamers who want to get really sucked into that experience. I could definitely see that being an issue. And so I think it also boils down to just the reviewer in general. What do they value in a game? Did they say, wow, those role-playing decisions, you know, that combat, that world, that was so much better that I didn't really care? Or, you know, someone else steps in for that same reviewer of that same site. Holy shit, this is a terrible animation system. I can't stand this at all. You know, but the RPG mechanics, they're good. You know, I like the story, but man, I could not focus with those animations. 7. So it's like, you can have the same site, 2 different reviewers, 2 different scores. Once again, living back to the fact that this is all, it's just a glorified opinion. And that's why I always say, I'm not saying this for myself. I recommend watching a ton of reviewers. But that's why you should watch individual YouTuber reviewers, because then you get to know them, then you get to know their taste, and then you can narrow down more the type of reviewer they are. You know, for me, I think it would be safe to say, like, this guy likes open world games for sure. So you'll see me probably praise them a lot more. You know, I don't know what I'd compare it to, but you know, I think every reviewer's got a little bit of bias in some way, form, or fashion, but I don't think that means dishonesty. That's the thing that people don't get. It doesn't mean dishonesty. It doesn't mean that they're lying to you to, like, fortify an agenda. It's that they're just saying, you know what, this is the type of game I prefer. So yeah, I'll probably praise an open world game or an exploration game a little bit more, which I don't think is a bad thing. But you know, it's just a preference. It's like to say no reviewer has bias, to say no reviewer has a preference.
It's dumb.
Yeah, that's very wrong.
Not every reviewer steps in as a blank slate. They try their best to, but there's gonna be certain things that you go like, man, I love this in my video games, and that's okay because everyone's got that.
Yeah, and I hate opinions that come out when they say, "Oh, this isn't an objective review. You need to be objective in what you're saying." I mean, how the fuck can you make an opinion of a game fully objective? It doesn't work like that, right? And as Matty was touching on, I believe that not only the fact that when you have certain YouTubers and reviewers that their opinions and thoughts in a game tend to align with yours, it's probably good that you keep watching them, because if they say, I like this game, the chances are you're going to like it as well, and you're not going to get upset. But every now and again, I think it's good and it's healthy to look at different reviewers that have a completely different mindset. Maybe they're a bit more casual. Maybe they have a bit more of a graphical mind to you, just to temper your thoughts and to at least judge what you think against someone else, because it might actually change your opinion in a positive way.
Here's the thing, though, is that you're not going to find, please, if you're watching this right now, know that you are not going to find any creator who has
that completely agrees with you.
That completely shares your exact thoughts. And do not align yourself with them for the sake of them just having the same thoughts as you. What you should value is how they present those thoughts, how they critique the game, that type of stuff, how they analyze it to give you the information you need. Because if you're liking them just because they line up with your thoughts, then one, you're not challenging yourself to think critically when challenged upon. But also, on top of that, it's very important that, how do I word it? Because it just, I don't know how to word this. It's almost like surrounding yourself with a bunch of yes men. You know, you're not going to get that.
It's an echo chamber.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to get yourself exactly what you need to know. You're only surrounding yourself with people who you know are going to say what you want to hear. So it's sometimes good to face reality in that type of way.
Yeah. But
all right.
Let's move on.
Can we just like sit and reminisce for a second? This is
let's talk about, you know what? Let's talk
That's
about
what I wanted to move on to.
The fact that this is the 100th podcast. And even though I'm not on as a consistent host anymore, you know, I do have to say that it has been a lot of fun to be on as a normal host, and there are probably going to be a lot of people, and I know there have been a lot of people that have gotten really upset with the fact that you know, I'm no longer on, and I know the podcast you guys did saying I was off got a lot of hate and stuff like that, but you know, it is what it is. It's you guys have a good new host. You know, he's a solid guy. I'll stab him if I ever meet him. No, I'm just kidding. No, but he's a cool dude. He seems to know his stuff. So, you know.
Fucking Christ. I mean, I've just gone back to the very first podcast. It was uploaded on the 15th of February, 2015. So obviously, we haven't done it every week consistently. There's been weeks like Christmas and stuff where we've skipped podcasts, but we've been doing this now for a little over 2 years, and it's, you know, to reach a milestone like this is pretty good, and we've gone through some changes, and again we've addressed those in the past, but I just wanted to say that I've been enjoying doing the podcast for so long. I kind of wanted to have this reminiscing section, you know, because it's been awesome. It's been a blast.
Let's talk about real quick. I want to talk about favorite moments. Now, it could be favorite guest we had on, a favorite question. I want to go first real quick just because I have two and I don't want to forget them. But my favorite guest, we've had so many fantastic guests. And if you're watching this and you've been a guest, you're awesome. And you know, it was awesome meeting you and talking to you. But I have to say, I always go back to this. Brian T. Delaney had to have been one of my favorite favorite guests on because it was just so much fun having him on. You know, and he doesn't have a Twitter anymore. It's a little hard to get a hold of him, but he was an awesome dude. And my favorite moment that I can think of, this is the only one that comes to mind, but it was the podcast where we talked about how we lost our V cards.
Oh my god, that was like one of the first episodes.
It was. And people made so many photoshops of me near a Panera. I'm not gonna go through the story. You can go back and look it up. But I just remember doing that one, and yeah, that was a wild one. But
I gotta agree, like the podcast with Brian, just a blast. The second one in particular, it's like we were a bunch of old friends getting back together and having a beer. And it was like, guys, I missed you. What's been going on? What you been doing? And he was so positive.
He's a character. He really is.
And it was funny because like we contributed to his Twitter, and then he got rid of it because
like this is too much.
I just I remember while we were talking about Brian joining the podcast, I remember how it happened where I just tweeted out, I was like, you guys want the male protagonist on? Because we're going to try to go for him just to get their attention. And Brian reached out to me and was like, dude, I want to come on. And we were his first ever podcast interview. And we were expecting, like, you know, we were prepping questions, like, all professional and shit. And we come on, and Brian just
like, what the fuck's up?
Brian just let it rip. And it just got really wild. Oh, God, where did... Oh, that we'll cut this.
We've lost Noah. We've lost Noah. You know, it wouldn't be Ham Radio 100 if we didn't have a technical issue, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Is everything okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Everything.
All right, let's start back up recording real quick.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I wanted to say, all right, going back to my favorite moment, I remember this specifically. So the first podcast we had with Brian kind of said the fact that, you know, I don't face reveal, I don't talk about myself. And the moment we start recording, he starts trying to get to know us. And he's like, oh, yeah, so Stallone, where you live? I'm like, oh, Australia. He's like, yeah, whereabouts? I'm like, yeah, to the east. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. What city? And he kept nailing down and grilling me.
He's like,
Brian, you sound like a nice guy, like you're going to fucking tell me, dude.
He either said it or I did. He's like, what's your credit card number?
That was a fantastic moment. Like, Brian, cut it. I don't want to say.
I do have to say, and my voice is funny because my device is going off from the surgery. I'm not sad. I'm not about to cry, but I promise. Okay. But I do remember.
You're gonna cry, you little bitch.
You're gonna fucking cry, you pussy. No, but I do remember. I did not think that this podcast would become as big as it was. I remember talking about this concept with Matt years ago, years before we started the podcast, about doing something like this. At the time, I think we even called it a dual com. We didn't even call it a podcast. And a dual commentary. And
we have a lot of dual comms on both our channels from like when you did YouTube
years ago. We talked about it. We talked about the idea of it. We just didn't really have a jumping off point. And then lo, when we met you, or Matt knew you, and then we just kind of threw it together for the first episode. I just think it's really cool. I think the fact that it's taken off and the fact that we get a lot of really good feedback, or you guys do now, and a lot of really good feedback, and you know, I still do too. You know, I looked at some of the comments when you said that I was going to be on, and a lot of people were really, really cool and excited, and that made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And you know, so the fans are awesome that listen to this. The people that contributed to this and have been on are awesome, and all the questions we get, or you guys get every week, you know, it's very cool. So it's when and I don't mean to. I'm not getting mad at you guys, but when I was removed from the podcast, it was, and I understand why it was, you know, why it happened, but it was definitely a hit. Because I was afraid that I lost friends, but I know you guys are my friends, and the whole community are, you know, I have a bunch of friends now because of the way this community works and stuff. So it's a very close-knit group, and I'm sure there's someone out there who's crying right now. I'm just kidding.
While we're talking about it, yeah, I agree. I was, you know, one of the reasons we held off for so long, you know, is when you missed, like Lone and I would think, you know, we can't do this, and I told you this already, but you know, we didn't want to risk our friendship over you know, this show. Yeah, and that's why, like, at the end I was like, when Lone and I decided together, like, okay, we might have to do this, I was like, I was pretty afraid too, that, you know, you'd you flip out and be like, all right, we're not friends anymore. It's like, you know, we've gone through our ups and downs, not in a bad way, because it's made our friendship stronger. Where you know. We fought for some stupid fucking reason in high school. We've told the story a million times. We're just like, yeah, let's play Borderlands, and we're like, fuck it, forget it. And I knew for a fact going into that decision it wouldn't be like that, where we'd be like, forget it. I knew it would kind of be something that you'd have a chip on your shoulder, and I totally understood that. But I still valued you as one of my best friends, and I was like, I really hope that it didn't ruin anything, and I'm glad it didn't. You know, because like I said, dude, you know, we're best friends. And we spent so many amazing memories together, so it would just be heartbreaking if over...
Like that time I fucked you in the ass, and then you fucked me in the ass. It
I was being sent to fucking mental.
I'm just kidding. No, dude, I understand.
Yeah.
No, and go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
I was kind of already wrapping it up, that it was just, you know, it was relieving to know that, you know, like when you were going through your surgery before that, rather... you know, when I was going through some tough stuff, that we were able to still turn to each other, that at the end we're like, okay, it's kind of just, I mean, I know it's pretty successful, but in the end of the day, we treat this kind of as this dumb show to decompress more than anything. Yeah. So that's why it was really good that everything kind of panned out.
Yeah, and you know, I'm 21, gonna be 22 here next month. You know, I don't have time to fight friends. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I completely agree. As for other good memories, one I remember, it's not even like an amazing memory. It's just one that stuck out to show how dedicated we were at the beginning. Funny enough, this is an episode Noah couldn't make, but it was because it was so fucking late. We didn't want to miss the week. It was when Wolfenstein: The Old Blood was announced.
Oh, man. Lone, that was a while ago.
Yeah, this is before Fallout 4 even. And Lone, do you remember us doing a podcast? It was like midnight my time.
Fuck.
Oh, no.
And that meant it was like, I think after work for you, I want to say. And, you know, we're both, and for me, I had school the next day at like, I think 8 a.m. and we weren't done till 3. Do you remember?
Jesus, guys.
Yeah, actually, I remember I left work early that day. This was back when I was working with the government. And I left work early, and I gave some stupid excuse just so I wasn't keeping you up.
Just so you could do a podcast, man.
I remember that.
I love it.
That was one of my fonder memories, just because I think it was a showcase of how dedicated all of us were, where we'd make a lot of personal sacrifices, you know, from time to time.
I remember, I mean, for a while, we were recording podcasts at 5-6 a.m. my time. Because I was trying to compensate. and like, because I don't think people understand how hard it is for people in 3 different time zones, especially one in Australia, where I'm, like, for me now, it's Saturday in the morning, or it's actually afternoon, and for them, it's now Friday night. So it's so hard to actually get us together to do a podcast. And you know, everyone, it's not just been me waking up early sometimes to do podcasts, but everyone at one stage has had to make a sacrifice to make.
I just came home from work. I'm starving. I have dinner in there. I'm starving, but I'm here. I know this is the 100th. Shut up, Noah. But you know, I mean, my girlfriend's here from spring break, but you know, to be fair, I've seen her all week. You know, so
and we've all had to sacrifice certain stuff for this podcast. I mean, the amount of podcasts that I've done, you know, when I was doing long distance with my girlfriend, and we would only see each other once a month or maybe once every 2 weeks. But I'm like, no, I gotta go do the podcast. We have to do it, and it sucks. It sucks when life gets in the fucking way. It really does. And those are some of the underlying reasons, you know, with what happened with Noah, and that's a decision that to this day we still feel fucking shitty about. And I wanted to bring this up now because it wasn't easy at all. It really, really wasn't. And when we said that we wanted to try and get Noah back on the podcast as a guest from now and again, you know, we weren't just doing that as lip service. And I hope him being here has just brought back good memories for everyone that are watching this now.
And I hope so too. And I don't want people to comment and give shitty, you know, like, you only picked him off, your dick, you know, or like, this is so much better than the other guy. You know, I mean, the other guy's putting his all into it too. You know, what's his name? I'm sorry, I really don't know his name. What's his name?
Carrick, yeah.
Okay,
you know,
Carrick
like
is putting
4 different aliases he goes by. So
okay,
it's pretty
he's putting, you know, he's putting his all in too, and this is not easy for him either. You know, he's he usually plays these pretty big shoes. No, but I mean, like he's trying to become, you know, part of the gang, and I just want everyone to treat him as well as you two are treating him, you know.
Yeah.
And be cool with him. We've met a lot of amazing people, you know, Matt and I going to E3 and being able to meet Todd Howard and everyone, you know, I mean, that's something that this dinky little podcast has done, you know, and then that obviously means, I guess, it's not a dinky little podcast, you know, and I'm just proud of I'm proud of everyone. I'm proud of everyone who's been able to do this and help with it. So
I remember the episode. It was me, Noah, I want to say Slendy, and the Vault dude. Or no. No, it was me, Noah, Robbie from Open World Games, who I haven't heard from in a while. Yeah, I hope he's doing well. I haven't heard from him in a while.
We had him on, and I didn't realize who he was until afterwards, and I was like, "Holy shit!" The same thing happened with Many a True Nerd. As I watched his stuff, and then we had him on, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, I know him." You know, like.
Yeah, no, I remember. That brings up another thing, but I remember when you went out because you love Many a True Nerd, and you were watching a bunch of his videos, and like
I tweeted at him.
Yeah, you're like, yo, his stuff's good. It's like, have you heard of him? I was like, dude, we had him on the show once.
I know, and then I tweeted at him.
I'll never forget.
I was like, look, dude, you've been on the Hitbringer podcast, but you're really cool, and I like your stuff.
He fucking roasted me so bad for liking Hitman Absolution. I will never forget that. He went on a almost like 20-minute rant on how bad of a decision I made for saying, like, I liked it. He was just like,
he likes no, but it's not a fan of Absolution, no.
Yeah, but you know, we've had some really funny guests. I finally remember also Gopher coming on.
That was cool.
That was a long time coming. We worked hard as fuck to get him on. That was our longest episode, I think, 3+ hours.
I don't think he liked me. I don't think he liked my jokes. Same thing with Many a True Nerd. I don't think he liked me either.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think John liked me. That's what I've said. People are like, have you ever had a guest on that didn't like you? I'm like, I've only had one guest who I felt didn't like me, and it was Many a True Nerd. Probably didn't not like me, but like still, I just got that vibe at the end. Like after he was done roasting me for like Hitman, I was like, I'm taking this a little personally because like you're going far, man.
Starts throwing racial slurs at you. but no, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 2 years, to be honest, and just reminiscing like this, it does make me happy.
I almost want to like end the show with this. I don't want to talk about anything else, you know.
One other thing, now the memories are flowing. I was thinking before the show what I'm going to come up with, and now they're starting to flow. Lone, there was a point where you almost had to leave the show. Remember that?
I don't know if we can talk about that too much, but I think there was a point, Lone, where it was.
If you want me to cut this out, let me know.
I won't go into specifics, but there was a point, and for me, it's been partly job wise and schedule wise, and I'm not gonna lie, a large reason why it's so hard for this podcast to fucking be held every week is because I'm in Australia, and it's not because of me personally. It's just I'm here in a country where it's so fucking difficult because I work full time to be able to make the podcast every week. And numerous times I've had to think to myself, can I keep doing this? Can I keep doing this? Mm-hmm. And it's this, it's lucky that it's 2 years later and I'm still able to continue it. But hopefully that a similar situation doesn't come up. But yeah, that was a very real thing that happened. I even emailed Matty. I'm like, Matty, this is the email I'm sending my boss, and fuck.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, the reason I brought it up wasn't to like put you on the spot, but it was more so to highlight that
it's not been easy.
Yeah, a lot of it. I think here's the thing is, and we're so grateful for people who make us a part of every Sunday. It's just that I don't think people realize a lot goes on behind the scenes because in the scheme of things, we sit down and we chat on Skype for like 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
But a lot of things happen behind the scenes.
That's
to keep
the easy part.
Flowing. Yeah, we got to keep track of every single news bit. What is worth discussing? What's the headliner? We have to keep fucking Kiki Wonka pumping out this amazing artwork that he does. He makes some crazy stuff. But
Noah, have you seen that artwork?
I don't think I have. I'll look it up after we finish this.
No, I want to see a reaction. I want to see his reaction now, though.
I don't want to launch my browser because I don't want it to mess my internet up.
Off.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great though. I promise I will check it out though. I promise I will check it out. I'm sure it's fantastic. I think I've seen a bit of it. Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, Manny. Go
on. No, just there's a lot of really good memories. I mean, for me, when it comes to Sacrifice, first thing that definitely comes to mind is how many like hangouts and dates I've skipped out on to do this show. It shows where my priorities are, I guess, in a good way or a bad way, depending on the type of person you are. But yeah, I know for a fact that there's been a lot of, I could have a good memory here moments, but I wanted to make sure that I made the show.
You were doing your job, basically.
And because I think of it this way, like a lot of my friends, I'm not putting them under the bus when I say this, but sometimes you wonder what it's like to live that, how do you define it, I guess, like a normal life where it's like, this is
where you just work a job and then come home?
Yeah, it's like
that?
Like when you leave your job, it's like, that's it. We're on, like, with YouTube, especially during the time when this podcast was starting up, like, all of us were constantly on call because there would be, like, news for Fallout 4. We'd have to be on top of it. I'm not complaining. And even afterwards now, where it's become just a part of the general schedule, I'm used to it. But there were times I wondered during that where I was like, damn, I'm always on call. It's like, am I ever truly, like, free, or am I just temporarily released? And, so those are questions that float around while doing this show and stuff. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride, dude. Oh, man.
It's been a wild ride, man.
What?
Oh, fuck, man. I'm getting nostalgic.
I am too. So I think we should probably call it so that I can go drink some beer and have some pizza. Yes, because I'm hungry. That's my priority right now. No.
Seriously, Noah, thank you for coming. Like it
was fun.
We weren't not going to have you on. Like we were pushing to get you on here, and
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, honestly, for being a part of this.
Absolutely. So with that said, though, you got some closing words, bro?
Oh, me?
Noah?
Yeah.
You're the guest. You got to end it.
I do have to end it. Oh, fuck. I'm getting all emotional.
We haven't done this in a while. Yeah. I'd like to hear the guest end it. I mean, you could talk about what you've been telling me. You've been editing a little bit and stuff.
I have been editing a little bit. If I do get accepted to E3, I am looking at picking up a GoPro and doing some really hardcore vlogs with that. I have been looking at getting a GoPro, doing hardcore vlogs with it at E3, and I've been playing with the idea of getting a head mount. And actually
POV pornos.
Thank you, Matt. That's what he fucking said to me the other day. No, but doing a thing where I kind of put it on in the morning, and then I do the whole thing of from us going, from the hotel to the thing, into it, all of it, cutting it together. I have music for it. I have all this stuff for it. So really, the only thing I'm waiting on is the yes or no from the guys over at E3. So
yeah,
we'll see. But other than that. Thank you for watching the Ham Radio #Ham Radio 100. And I gotta go get my ARC from parking garage. Odds are the parking garage is closed, so we'll see what happens. I got a long drive home, so or sale. But thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.